So finding the right shade is like, it's a challenge. And then when you find it and it's discontinued, then you're like, man, you know, please stop discontinuing things. It's the story of my life, and I would bet it's the story of yours, that whenever I truly find something great, you can almost guarantee it's going to be discontinued. Hi, I'm Mo. I'm very glad you're here today. So here's the thing. I have mentioned before that my Holy Grail foundation was CYO Lifeproof 102, shade 102. That is being discontinued. I believe the whole CYO line is being discontinued. Well, even though a lot of the foundation colors are still available at Walgreens.com and at the CYO website, I cannot find shade 102 anywhere. In fact, today was like the cruelest day because I went on my Walgreens app and I searched it again, and it looked like it was there. I added it to my cart, and there was nothing in my cart. So I'm like, okay, this is official. I can't get 102 anymore. So I know I've said this before, I need to move on and accept that my favorite foundation is no longer being made. I have to deal with it. So I thought, since I'm looking for a dupe, if you want to call it that, a replacement essentially for CYO Lifeproof Foundation in 102, maybe you are too, because this shade is sold out everywhere, right? So people it's either wildly popular or no one cared about it and I'm the only one who wore it, but that seems unlikely to me. So I thought maybe it would be helpful, since I'm kind of comparing swatches and stuff, maybe you would appreciate that too. So that's what I'm going to do today. I have my blessed CYO Lifeproof in 102 in all its glory. I know it just doesn't look like that big a deal, but it's my favorite foundation and I think it's my best shade match ever. And I thought I would try a few of the shades of the Soap & Glory Kick-Ass All Day Wear foundation. So I saw a video from the Tayla, who knows a lot about foundation. I know that she loved the CYO Lifeproof in 101, and she was looking for a replacement, and some people told her about the Soap & Glory Kick-Ass Long Wear foundation, and they said it's the same foundation, same size. They are both 1 ounce of foundation, again, very standard, 30 milliliters. And they both come in a pump. So with the exception really of kind of, you know, the packaging design, which is different, meaning the artwork, and the shiny versus matte, they look like pretty much the same foundation, and the ingredients are identical. So that's a good thing, right? But there's different numbers of shades. So the CYO had a larger range of shades, and the Soap & Glory doesn't have quite as many shades. So it can't be a match for match. Like, oh, if I wore 101 in CYO, I definitely wore 1, or 106 in CYO, I definitely wear 06 in Soap & Glory. It's not, in my mind, it's not that exact. So I thought we'd try a few together today and swatch them and see. Also, I'm doing a wear test. I wore the Soap & Glory foundation all day yesterday, and today I have had it on we are at just over the 11-hour mark. So I have had the CYO Lifeproof on since 6:30 this morning. I worked all day, and I've noticed very little fading. In fact, at the end, I'm going to use a wipe and take it off so we can see how much is really left on my face. So let's do some swatches, shall we? I have a couple. I have CYO 101, because I know a lot of people like that one, and I also have CYO 102. And I thought we would just do some swatching here. So we'll start with CYO 101, and we're going to do these on my arm. Now I admit these are not going to show up great, probably, because these are relatively good skin matches for me. So 101 looks like this, and then this is the Soap & Glory one. It's so hard to see on camera, you know, the subtle differences, but to me, they are not identical. They're really close. I mean, I'm being picky here, but they are not identical. When I look at them in real life, there is still just a touch more olive or gray in the CYO than there is in the Soap & Glory. That's at least what I see. But I'm going to put them on my arm, and we're going to swatch them next to each other, and we're going to see, you know, do you agree, do you disagree, and are we even going to be able to tell? So let's just do a quick look here. So right here we have the CYO Lifeproof in 101, and this is the Soap & Glory in 01. And you know, the lighting is not perfect, but can you see that this just has a slightly different undertone than this? In fact, you know, just to the naked eye, I think this one actually blends in better with my skin, the Soap and Glory, than the CYO. And 101 was not my shade, so that kind of makes sense. They're not identical. This one has a cooler, almost a whiter, grayer base. So that's 101 next to 01. And then I'm just going to go down my arm and do a few of the other ones. So we'll do CYO 102 next, which is the shade that I preferred and that I wore. And this one is 03 in the Soap and Glory, which is supposed to be just a little bit cooler than the 02. And since I tend to run neutral cool, I thought that might be a better option for me, or might be closer to the 102 that we've already established I love. And I want to wait just a second. I want to see if these oxidize just slightly. I just want to give them each like a minute. So then we'll look them over. Okay, so the swatches have been on essentially the same amount of time, and I totally understand that this is going to be somewhat challenging to see, but I'm going to do the best that I can. So I'm going to back off just a little bit here. So we've got CYO 101, we've got Soap and Glory 01, CYO 102, my favorite, Soap and Glory 02, which to me looks warmer. It almost looks a little orangey on my skin. And then here we have Soap and Glory 03, which blends in pretty well. It's not identical to 102, but I think for my money, it blends in a little bit better than the 02 from Soap and Glory. Now, since we've done the swatches, we've compared, we know they're not identical, I want to do the wear test. So I'm going to look at the clock here. So it is almost 6 o'clock in the evening, and I put this on at 6. Well, I finished at 6:30 this morning. So, you know, we're talking 11 and a half hours. So this has been on for 11 and a half hours, and this is just a good old Neutrogena makeup remover, kind of the classic. And I'm just gonna take this off. And I don't wear very heavy makeup, so I'd say I used a good, maybe I wore a pump and a half. I wore a little more than usual today because I was tired. And I used a brush, which also is somewhat uncommon because I typically put on the CYO just with my fingers. I think it's perfectly legal to put foundation on with your fingers. I have no issue with that at all. So there we go. So the makeup is off. And we've got quite a bit of stuff here. It goes through to the other side actually on the makeup wipe. So it did last, especially for the amount that I had on. The foundation from Soap and Glory lasted. I would say the lasting power and the feel on my skin, I would put those as identical to the CYO Lifeproof. But the colors for me are not shade for shade a match, which is kind of a bummer because even though I love the general look of the foundation and I like the staying power, absolutely, it was really the shade that was like the thing. So I don't want to say disappointed because I feel like I'm lucky that there's something so close. It is twice the price of CYO. So CYO was $7 at Walgreens, and the Soap and Glory is, I got it at Target for $13.99. I generally have seen it online for $16, so you know there's always a range depending on where you purchase it, but I got mine for $13.99 at Target stores. If you're looking for a replacement, we'll say, of your CYO 101 or 102, I hope that was helpful today. And as always, it's so nice that you're here. I really appreciate you spending some time because I know you're busy. Believe me, I'm busy, but I'm just so thankful just that you stopped by. It's good to hang out with you, and I will see you soon.